A scatter plot, or graph, is similar to line graphs. The difference is that the data is not connected through a continuous line, but represented in single dots. In statistics, scatter plots are used to visualize the data to verify if two variables are related to each other. If, for example, the data points align in a straight line, the graph can suggest a linear relationship.
To create a scatter plot in Excel, we have to go on Insert and add the scatter plot option. After that, we go on Select Data. Here we select our data, and after that we make sure that our X and Y values are the ones that we want them to be. When we click OK now, our chart will appear. Now we can add the chart title. We just choose Scatter Plot. Now we double click on the X-axis and we can choose our minimum and maximum, so our points will be better displayed. After that we go to Add Chart Element and we add the axis titles for both the Y and the X-axis. Our X-axis will be just called age, but don't forget the unit, which is years. And then for the Y-axis we have weight in kilogram. Error bars can be added to all 2D graphs, for example line graphs, scatter plots, and column charts, in order to visualize the margins of error. You can add 4 different types of error bars within Excel. To add error bars in a chart in Excel, we click on the chart and then Add Chart Element, and then we can choose the error bars that we want to have. Here we choose the standard error and we select the horizontal errors because normally we only want to display vertical errors. Now if we double click on the errors, the menu will open. Here we can change different things. For example, if we only want to have the minus error shown. Or we can change the error type, for example to percentage that we set ourselves, the fixed value, the standard deviation, or the standard error that we chose first. And there is the option for a custom error. We can type in the specific values here for a positive and the negative error.
To quantify a trend observed within a dataset, Trendlines are used. The algorithm computing a trend line or regression line for a given dataset works always in a similar fashion. Easiest to understand is this for a straight line fit, using the least square fit method. The program assumes a straight line with the standard line equation y equals mx plus b. Now it aims to minimize the distance between the curve computed and the data points, meaning the deviation of the curve from the real data for any given x. For this y deviation, it should not matter in which direction the deviation is happening, meaning if positive or negative distances are computed. Therefore, the following distance equation is formed, with y hat denoting the y value of the fitted line. Therefore, the following equation is formed. Squaring the distance d makes the direction of the deviation irrelevant and makes large deviations contribute more than the small ones. Upon inserting the standard line equation for y hat, only m and b, the values we want to know, and xi and yi, so the data points, are left. By taking the first derivatives of the function s and equating them to 0, so finding the minimum, the values for m and b can be computed and are inserted into the standard line equation. This gives the function displayed by Excel. For functions of higher degree and exponential functions, the system relies on the same methodology, minimizing s, the squares of all distances, but the math to solve such functions is more complicated and mainly relying on matrices.
To add a trend line in Excel, you need to right-click on the points and go on Add Trend Line. Your trend line will appear, but you won't have any information yet. So you need to tick Display Function and Display Pearson Correlation Coefficient. That you can move freely around the diagram. If you click on the trend line now, the menu will open and you're able to change the type of function your trend line displays. For the polynomial function, you're even able to change the order of the function. But in this example, we want to choose the exponential function because it displays our points best. Another possibility is that we can forecast the trend line, which means that we can elongate it into the positive and negative direction. And we can set an intercept if we know which one it is. Here I just set it to 10 so we see how the function will change. Another way to add the trend line is to go on Add Chart element and then choose the exponential trend line. Now we click on it and we go on Format, and here we're able to choose the color of the trend line, or even a dashed line or a line with arrow.